Hey, good afternoon. Oh, well, good morning. No, all right, we're nearly at the afternoon. Again, we're just going to do Q&A. I'll answer questions as we go. Okay. All right, good afternoon. How diddly do? We're doing a leg. Well, we're doing a bit of everything today. Yeah, Damon, how's it going? Afternoon. It's still morning here, but very close to the afternoon. And doing like a bit of an all body today, an all body workout. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. Appreciate the kind words, and I will do. I'm going to do a live, sit down live when I get home. So if anyone wants to join me for that, you're more than welcome to. You can ask more questions, and it won't be so busy, won't be so chaotic because I'm in the gym at the moment and it's a bit mad. Right, we do some lunges, do some god awful lunges. Hey, how you doing? Hi, Aaron. All the way from a place I wouldn't even be able to pronounce. Nice. I'm gonna do a bit of cardio after my weights. By the way, anyone that's sticking around, do us a favour. I think it's the thumb button on this live. So if you don't mind, just tap the thumb button, and I believe it just helps with the algorithm on this live. On TikTok live stream, it's a double tap the screen, but YouTube is a cheeky put the thumbs up. I'm going to leave my USA call center job in 2 months. Okay, nice. Well, what are you going to be doing instead? Thanks, my man. Appreciate it. Great. Let's go do some lunges. We'll lunge and talk. Put this down. You know, do we like lunges? Do we not like lunges? Haven't decided yet. But we're going to do them anyway. I'm probably going to do a bit of oh. They've got some dumbbells down here, which means we can do some weighted ones. I don't know. Do we like weighted dumbbell? Weighted lunges? Let's pop this here. We're going to do them going down here. So there we go. Right, I can still. If you've got any questions, this is always a great time to ask questions. That text my son. Right. 2 kilo. I think we can go heavier than that. Yeah, we can go heavier than 2 kilo. We're going to start with the 10s. We're going to start with the juicy 10s. Oh, no, we went over. There we go. Good weight. A little bit juicy, that. I'm planning to stick it out for another year and a half in my job. And then I'm planning to find full-time employment in personal training, learn what I can, and start my own. Oh, great. Sounds like a plan. The only thing I'd say is how you're going to separate yourself is marketing. Marketing is the make or break of a business. If they can't see you, they can't buy from you. So it's really, really important. Right, 2 seconds. We've just secured another angel investor. There we go. Great news. So for anyone that doesn't know, just to give you some context, I myself and my co-founder, we're currently raising 700,000 in angel investment for our tech company, which is called Holder. And it's no easy task raising. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But it is the make or break of a business, I can promise you that. What's going on, big boy? Oh, that was beautiful. We've just hit 73,000 on YouTube. Boom. We've only gone and look at, we've only gone, Sean, only gone and hit the big 73K now. Mate, biggie. I'm pushing for 100K before end of Feb. It's a big one. We've got got another 27,000 to go, but just banging them out at the moment. No, it's going to be a biggie. How's you though? You all right? Oh, you? Nice. That'd be good to add to the portfolio. What? And then you're gonna direct it, get it. Good. Yeah, mate. I'm telling you, you want to start your YouTube channel. YouTube this year has basically got this new feature where it's going to be competing with Netflix. Where, yeah, it's essentially, in layman's terms, it's going to have a like a docu series side to YouTube where, if it starts picking up on the algorithm, regardless of like if you subscribe to say just fitness channels, if your docu series started taking off, even if I don't subscribe to you, if you started getting traction, it'd be shown on my feed. So it'd be shown on my docu series, and then if it started getting the traffic, that's when big companies come in and will contact you and say we want to turn this into a bigger movie. So I, yeah, 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 yeah. Honestly, I promise you now, this year is the year you want to. No, no, it's a live stream. That's all good. This year, honestly, I am putting 85, 90% of my efforts purely into YouTube just because of all the new features. Yeah, because with AI, where everyone's distrusting of short form now and what's real, what's not, especially when it comes to the likes of small productions, um, I'd go home and open up your channel straight away and just start getting it moving. Because this year, if you are gonna start doing all of this producing, you're gonna not only that, Sean, you're gonna want somewhere to put it, and embed it, and that's YouTube. Oh, Jesus, getting up in weight. You all right, mate? Come on. Sweet spot, 7 minutes. There was I can't remember what they were called. Um, I'll uh, I'll find it after my workout or when I'm doing cardio. I'm gonna find this production company. They're huge on YouTube now. They did like 7 minute films, all from horror to thrillers. But it was so intense. It was like, you can read the comments and people were like, "When's this going to be a movie?" And if you get that, and people who are looking for this kind of thing, if there's enough engagement, again, it's all about attention. So if you can create like 5, 7 minute movies, uh, yeah, and just keep uploading once a week, a new movie, you'll get die-hard fans. Yeah, you should. And you're at an age, this is like prime time for you. Honestly, if I could go back your age, I would just make my whole life about this. Um, yes, short movies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Were you able to put your idea to paper and then bring it to life? Yeah, and you'll probably get people that will do it, who will do all the stuff with you because you might end up helping their brands or whatever. Here he is, getting taller every time I see him. Yeah, all right, you? Good man. Yeah, good man. Just busy. Yeah, all right. I'll catch you in a sec, Sean. Right. Let's go into squatting. Right. Um, okay, let's just move to a different machine and then I can carry on reading the comments. And I'm hoping I've just parked on double yellows. I'm hoping I don't get a ticket. I get too many tickets because I do too much double yellow parking. I'm good, thanks. I listen to your videos every day when I'm at work. Your words really help me so much. Super pleased to hear that. Love that. By the way, anyone that's sticking around on the live, yeah, by all means, ask your questions. Just do me a favor, if you can just hit the thumbs up button up there, it would massively help because I believe that's the algorithm trick. A little cheeky thumbs up button on the live helps out. Right, I'm really OCD about having the bench bang in the middle. Otherwise, it puts me off. That'll do. Thanks for your tutorial. Using it for your planning. Love that. Love that. Great. I'm glad you've got a newfound perspective, a new outlook. Great. That's what it's about. That's all my content is just getting you thinking, just getting you, understanding one, what's really important, and two, how obtainable it is if you commit all of your being to it. If you're only half started doing these things of living a better life and a life by design, it's going to be quite hard. But if you commit your entire being, you've got a good chance. You've got a good crack at it. Can't believe we've hit 73,000 on YouTube. What a milestone. 73K. Amazing. Such a milestone for me. Oh man, I can't wait to hit 100K. Honestly, I've got a big goal to hit 100K by end of Feb. It'll be tricky. It'll be um, it'll be a big milestone, but that is the goal. So yeah, hit 100K by the end of Feb. So we'll see. Never say never. Aim high, right? Aim for the moon and all that. God, like it'd be great to hit 100K. God, I've been doing YouTube for 4.5, like 5 years on YouTube, and it's a tough cookie to crack. It's not for the faint-hearted, I can tell you that. Okay. Um, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Morris, great to hear that, man. I like that trick with the bench for the squats. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And also I do it because you can just do like a bit of explosive. Planning my first online business, being clothing one. How do you recommend the process of shirt making and selling? Well, I actually had this conversation last night with a new member of mine. So, okay, I think there's several things with clothing. I think you need to decide number one, are you going to order stock up front or are you going to do print on demand? That's question number one. That's probably my first question to you, actually. Are you planning on doing this as print on demand or are you front loading with stock? There you go. That's my first question to you. Yo, Rob, I make income from YouTube, but should I try and make income from TikTok? Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. The whole thing with data, I've had this conversation a few times. They know everything about you already, whether you're on YouTube or Instagram. If you've got an email address, if you've got LinkedIn, if you've got Facebook, if you're on apps, they know everything about you. If you've ever shared your photo library, all your naughty videos can be seen. So I honestly wouldn't worry about TikTok and what they know about you because all the other powerhouses, they already know everything about you. You have to live your life as if you're on camera all the time. Okay, I was thinking of print on demand to maximize chances of success. Use the customs. Okay, cool. So I've used print on demand for clothing. So um, I don't know if you know, but I have an events company, and one of the arms on that events company is a clothing brand. Again, under the umbrella of Peak Performance. The challenges that you have with print on demand is that margins are really tight, but that the margins are super tight on print on demand, and you really have to know your numbers because you're not outlaying any upfront cost and you're not technically taking care of the dispatch and the logistics side of it from manufacturer to customer. you're mitigating those financial outlays. However, your end margins are so small. So you would have to sell your clothing brand on such a scale to even make a decent amount of profit after, after taxes, insurance, national insurance fees, whatever it is, whatever the print on demand platform would charge you. However, the benefits of print on demand is great for scalability and marketing. So if you're in a position where you can work a job, start your clothing company, start your brand, start with print on demand, get it out to as many people, make small margins, save all your profit, don't spend any of it, just reinvest it back into the business, but push on your branding so as many people as possible are wearing your clothing. You haven't had to outlay two, three, £4,000 in a lot of stock of different sizes and storage and packing materials and all this kind of stuff. When you get to a stage where maybe you've got a couple of affiliates on board, collaborators, you've established your name, then I would probably move to using some of the funds that you've saved up, and I would probably use that to put into your own print, your own printer, and replicate the Gymshark model, and then basically double down on your brand and your key collaborators and your affiliates to continue scaling. I would also start with a isolated area. So I would start with the demographic that you want to target and geographically, believe it or not. And I would have a story behind your clothing. Like every company needs a story to be told. So yeah, I wouldn't go to buying stock first. But again, I've based that on maybe you're still working a job and you have you can still cover your bills and build that business whilst remaining in your job. But because clothing is tight margins until you get to a point where you know you're consistently going viral on TikTok, you've got a really credible and a nice aesthetically looking brand on Instagram. So that's my quick insight on that. So hopefully that helps. Scroll up. What you're now talking about with clothing, I know a lad who owns Lately Clothing, if any of you know that brand. They sponsor Norwich City. He started buying shirts from China. Yeah, and also I would say clothing is a good timing thing as well. And you need to get trademarked as well. One of my team members said, "Why are you still here then? Go copy him." That's funny. I've actually been played in workplace meetings before for good reasons and for bad reasons. Toxic managers, believe it or not, this is a true story. I've been contacted by employees who have contacted me to say our manager pulled us in to the workplace, like office, had a meeting with us telling us, don't listen to this guy. And if you do, basically there'll be repercussions. How freaking crazy is that? That my videos by toxic, power hungry managers who fear my moves getting out there, basically trying to say to their staff, don't bother trying to get a backbone because if you do, there'll be repercussions. How freaking mad is that? I mean, if that isn't like full control at its worst, I don't know what is. How would you go about funding for a premium made to order fashion business? I know your stance on physical products and the cost, but I love design. Well, look, I'm raising angel investment at the moment. So it's not like I'm against having to, you know, raise money or partner with someone if you're going to build something that's really premium and great. But I would say if money is needed, either as a business partner who brings money or an investor that comes on board, and you're going to offer a really premium service, then you really want to make sure that if you're working with someone who can bring you the money to make sure you have one of the best products on the market, you've got to make sure it's the right person. So, by the way, anyone that's sticking around asking questions, great. all do me a favor. Please just hit the thumbs up button on this live. So if you're sticking around and you've been engaging and you've been asking questions, great, fine. Just hit that like button. It's an algorithm thing and it just helps out. Oh man, you're too kind. But please keep your money. Don't worry about doing that. But of course you've done it. So thanks so much. So I wouldn't borrow from a bank because there's too many angel investors. So no, I would never borrow money from a bank ever. Yeah, so there's a personal trainer in here in the gym that I'm in at the moment. There's a personal trainer who's got around, I think he has around now about 61,000 on Instagram, and he does quite well. He's quite a popular personal trainer. He's in good shape. He's a big guy. He does well. However, he has actually said that business has plummeted because of these fat loss injections and people using ChatGPT to create their own programs. So, yeah, I do think personal trainers long term will take a hit. I just think you've got to be, again, everything's marketing. If you are brilliant at marketing, you won't struggle. You have to be you have to be super good at marketing. It's that simple. Everything is marketing. You could start whatever business you want, but if you can't market, you don't have a business. Because again, what does every single business now need? It needs a face, it needs a story, it needs to be a solution, but all of that means nothing if it can't be seen. The biggest asset right now is attention. If they can't see you and hear you, they cannot buy from you. And if you have a competitor that's out there that's really good at marketing, you won't sell your service or product because your competitor will. So it's going to be easier. Oh, no, maybe not. Hey, how's it going? Hey, Max, how's it going? I could talk to I could talk to you all day about discretionary bonuses, and I might actually do that as a video. I haven't done that as a video, and I'm surprised I haven't done that as a video yet. Oh boy, have I got some stories on gaslighting around bonuses. You've just prompted me to make a note for my TikTok about gaslighting. I'm literally writing it on my notes now. Gaslighting on discretionary bonuses. Oh, I'm going to do a juicy video on that one. My 9 to 5 and consider it an investment for the future. Love that. I appreciate it. Also, I also appreciate everyone that's joined the YouTube membership. So you can actually now join the channel. YouTube kept prompting me to set up the membership. I left it for ages, and now I've set up the YouTube membership. It just means that certain members will get priority over replies, comments. Um, if you DM me like on Instagram, you can get a voice note from me, like I'll reply and stuff like that. So just little perks what YouTube sets up. I have my finance company. My personal brand is a business on its own, but you can call that made up of different entities of YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. the brands, the sponsors, just call that one entity on its own. The events company, print and demand, all the products. So that's made up of two programs, one membership. This falls under nightly education. Two programs, one membership. All the products, books, planners, all that kind of stuff comes up under nightly education. And then you've got the tech company as well, and then you have the consulting. So five. And the paid speaking gigs now that I do, I mean, that's that's a business model of its own. It's more of an independent thing through my PR, but the paid speaking gigs is a bigger model that I will build out and structure more so probably at 20 during 2027. Not this year. My main focus is the tech company. Not really. Uh, would you perhaps do a video on how to manage or give advice on taxes in the UK? Ah, I mean, look, I can. I look. I know the bear. I know what I need to know. But that is why I have two accountants, and we have a CFO. So I've got to be honest with you. Um, any information you personally want to know, that's just a chat GPT. I try and stay clear of all that stuff. I don't really like to talk about things that I don't have huge amounts of knowledge in, or things that I'm not overly passionate about. And I have to say, I'm about as passionate of tax as I am the next person. Yeah, Damon, sorry. Yeah, you should definitely watch my latest one, not being here. But when you say there will always be people to do the jobs, you're promoting business ownership by relying on those people staying in the most five. Out of curiosity. No, so look, well, no, that's it. When I say that, I'm just being blunt. Um, when when people say to me, well, firstly, I suppose really that the first thing to address is why do people say that to me? Well, I'll be honest with you. Most people who say to me in quite a triggered way, Aaron, if everyone was a business owner, who's going to do who's going to do the jobs? Well, it's not my concern because that's not my life. You know, there's 3.6 billion working people around the world. My concern isn't who's going to do the job because as you know, and I don't mean this in a horrible way, but there's always going to be more sheep than there are shepherds. You know that whole thing. So it's not really my concern. So that's where my views and stances on that. It's not it's not too complicated. I don't concern myself with it because you know never going to be my problem. So uh, you can also tell them that AI robots will do the jobs. Yeah, and that's a reality. I mean, there are actually people who are taxi drivers and Ubers that are convinced their jobs will never be taken. I think that's probably one of the most naive and stupid things to think is that their jobs won't be taken. In the next 10 years, there will not be taxi drivers or Uber drivers. There won't. It's a fact. That's not me making it up. That's not me plucking something out of thin air. That is just facts. Um, we'll still need doctors and police. Yeah, of course. But then that's not. It's neither here or there because I've never debated that. I've never said in one of my videos we don't need doctors or we don't need police. So it's almost like it's starting a debate that I've never involved myself in. Again, my content isn't for people who don't want to live a life. of freedom and abundance. You got to remember as well. Let me just put you here for 2 seconds. You have to bear this in mind, right? And this is kind of, I suppose, where it gets me with some people is I'm not telling everyone to be a business owner. I'm really not. Like I if suddenly 30 million quid just dropped in my bank, I wouldn't be in business. But business is a must to escape a trap. So I'm not promoting everyone has to be a business owner. My message is building a life by design. That's it. So it's however you want to do that. Doesn't matter to me. But that's my message. But anyway, listen, everyone, I'm going to smash some cardio. I get a parking ticket. So I will be doing a live later, and I wish you all the best. We've hit over 73,000. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, of course, because like anxiety and procrastination build up of stress. Do you know, there's a huge part of that, you know, that really comes from probably not taking a lot of action on, maybe not doing things that necessarily you'd like to do because of think. But that worrying tends to decompress, and you're relieved from that anxiety and procrastination and overwhelmed feeling and imposter syndrome when you actually start taking action. It's like relieving a pressure valve, you know. Yeah, man. Yeah, Rob. Yeah, of course, all of that. Yeah, I'd be really trying to put your own hashtag as your name as well. But listen, I've got to go. I can't stand you. Join me later.